Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your body, your health and fitness, your mindset from where you are to being unstoppable. And it's the last day of the year, 31 December 2020, and I thought what better way to end this amazing year with a review of 2020. Now, I want you to do this in your way, in your time. I think it's just really important to capture those great things that you have done through the year, because when we look 5 years down the track, you're going to forget. And I do think it's in our human nature to forget the good things that we do sometimes. And it's not until we look back and we say, wow, this is how I've grown. Now, I do this because it's a great way to create momentum. It's a great way to reassert to yourself, wow, look at how far I've come. Look at how much I'm growing. Because what does that do? It provides momentum for you to grow more and keep you hungry to grow more. So I'm sure I could have dug out more than this, but I've looked at my top 10 things that I would say this year that have been the highlights for me. In no specific order, but the number one is relaunching of my new websites. So during COVID, I decided that I needed to be productive, and it had been some time since I'd had a look at my websites. I have a number, but my two main websites. And so as I was going through those and analysing those, I was realising just how overdue for a revamp and redesign they were. And in doing that redesign, what I realized was, man, there are so many things that I do that I don't actually market on my website. So I created a number of different products and services out of that I'm really grateful for. So that was an exciting initiative. That was the first lockdown back in March. I think we launched them again so we were shut down on the 23rd of March. I think we launched in April, maybe early May with the two new websites. I did the first one and made sure that was all working properly, and then modeled our second website on the same framework. And so that worked super, super well. I'm really pleased with that. Number two was my book launch. So Awaken the Sexy Within. Probably one of the single biggest things that I've done in my business was to to write a book, finish writing the book, get a publisher, have it published in the US. That was really, really exciting. Unfortunately, it did launch on the 5th of May, which was right in the middle of COVID in Australia or globally and the US, and all the bookstores were shut. So that did make it challenging, but it got finished, it got launched, and I was excited about that. So that was another big thing for me. Number three was, leading on from the book launch, was creating an online program for the book. So the idea being, you can get the book as an entry point. If you want to do something more detailed, you can do our 60-day coaching program, which is all online. It's like over 32 hours of content where you can watch me every single day to not only walk you through the things through the book, but a whole bunch more as well. So that's an exciting one. I'd always been thinking for years about the book and an online program, and I thought, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to be able to finish it at the pace that I was working. And then I just committed to making the change. And this year I said, no, you've got to get it done, man. So that's what I did. So I was excited about that one. As I went through the redesign of the websites, I was saying about other products and services that I was thinking of. And one of them was to do with the coaching services that I provide. And I thought, I'm coaching people all the time, but I don't actually have a coaching product. So that's when I created my gold and platinum coaching programs. And that was a really great initiative. I'm really excited about those programs because that's where I love spending most of my time now. It's coaching people around mindset, around nutrition, getting them to make those changes that are necessary to get that physical and health transformation that people are really looking for. It's just that until they get that mindset change, they don't normally get the other parts that go with it. So that was a really exciting initiative. Only came out of COVID. It only came out of there. And I haven't listed this one specifically, but if I put that in there as well, it goes along with the website design. All my nutrition products that I have as well. I never had a shop front for those, so I've now linked all of that into my website too. I didn't have a shop in my website before. It was a case of, if you like what you see in there, you contact me, and then we have a discussion about it. Now you can just go directly to the website, you can go straight to the shop, and you can purchase straight from there. Also with like all my group sessions as well, there was another opportunity for me there to just automate that whole process. And so it required creating more content within my website to just automate the whole payment process, making it much more simple for people, really systemizing everything. So that was an exciting initiative as well. So much good work came out of that COVID lockdown and being able to just step backwards and have a look at how do I want my customers to experience? What are the other things that I currently do that I currently don't talk to people about, but I do all the time, and include those in there as well. So that was, all really, really exciting. Number 5 for me was launching this program, the Mental Toughness and Body Show. This launched, I'm not sure, up to about episode 167, something like that. So I'm really proud of my commitment to this, to do it every single day, no matter what. I love coaching people, and I could talk forever about mindset, health, fitness, other aspects of your life that can change, and just having good conversations around that. So I was excited about the Mental Toughness and Body Show. The guests that we've been able to have on here so far have been great, and a bit like what I was saying at the start of this recording about reflecting about what you've done helps provide you that springboard for moving forward, and looking at the guests that I have had, which provides great momentum for future guests. It's really exciting. It's a really exciting platform. I know that people love listening to it. The feedback that I get is really positive. So thank you for everybody that's listening. I truly appreciate it, and we're going to keep going. So number 6, I have 2 podcasts. I have this one, and then I have Rob Evans 365, which is where it all started. So today, I just finished recording it before. I think it was day 914. So this year, we crossed the 1,000th podcast episode, which that's quite huge. Sitting a few years ago, I'd never even done one, and now I've done over 1,000. And I love that because it's given me so much confidence when I'm talking. And I know if I went back to my childhood, I hated standing up in front of people and talking. I wasn't a good speaker. I was nervous. I thought, what if I say the wrong thing? All those common fears that kids and adults have in terms of speaking and feeling embarrassed and humiliated and everything. So part of the reason for me creating the show, I mean, I only had one listener for I don't know how long, and now there's heaps, but I was doing it because it was helping me practice. It was helping me think on the spot. I mean, to come up with 2 topics to talk about, at least 2 topics to talk about every single day is a real challenge. But I love that challenge because it keeps me thinking. It keeps me moving forward. It makes me plan. It makes me think about topics of conversation. It makes me research topics to talk about. So it means that when I'm in a networking environment, there's always something to talk about because it's like, bang, you can just think of a question just like that. So I do love that. So I am proud of the fact that I've been able to do 1,000 podcasts. I'll tell you, there's a bit of insight as to what drove me to be so consistent with the podcast was Joe Rogan. I had heard about Joe Rogan's podcasts, and I listened to a couple. Like I listened to an episode he did with Dr. Phil. I've listened to a few that he's done with like Lance Armstrong and Elon Musk and that kind of stuff. And I noticed that, he's got like 1,200, 1,300. I thought, man, that's a lot of podcasts. And I thought that inspired me to catch up to him. Now, obviously, I don't have the number of viewers yet that he does, but just the sheer volume and that work ethic of doing it just inspired me to say, wow, I want to do that. Because so many people will do a podcast and they'll do it, say, once a week, and then it goes to once a fortnight, then maybe it's once a month, and then maybe it's just not at all. Some people start out by doing maybe a couple of weeks, but there's hardly anyone that does it daily. So I do 2 a day because there's always a message, I find. So it's exciting. So getting to that 1,000 is a really nice milestone to get to. So I'm almost at 1,000 just in isolation with Rob Evans 365. We've got another, about 86 days to go. Number 7 for me, body transformation. Okay, so my own personal body transformation this year has been a phenomenal success for me. I set that goal at the end of last year and into the start of this year, where it was like, bang, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And even though COVID hit, I was still completely focused. I got the result that I wanted, and I'm really proud of the result. Now, I find out in another 16 days as to whether that was a complete success and I make it to being a finalist of the IsaBody Challenge. If I don't, so be it. If I do, fantastic. Either way, I'm still focused on what I'm moving forward to. Okay, I'm still just as focused on it. But I'm really proud of what I've been able to achieve, because I added on about 4 kilos of muscle, dropped my body fat percentage down to single digit. I tracked my exercise, I tracked my food, I tracked my moods, my water, my supplementation, you name it, everything, every single day. And that's what I'm going to do starting from tomorrow as well, for the whole of next year, tracking every single thing that I'm doing. Why? Because it keeps me focused. Why? Because I know it delivers the results. I know I feel good. And isn't that what life's about? Feeling amazing about what it is that you're doing. So I'm proud of that result too. Number 8. I built a really stronger connection with my kids this year. And I have COVID to thank for that. I was forced to homeschool with the kids. Just the conversations we had, the connection that we had was really, really great. I'm really grateful for it. And look, I know I see it through, obviously, my eyes, through the kids, obviously presented them with different challenges. They weren't able to socialise as much with their friends, and that's hard. And there's probably untold damage in our children as to what that has meant for them this year, to not to be able to socialise as much as they normally would. For me, I think through my childhood, that's probably one of the areas where if I could go back in time, I would do that differently, to be able to build stronger friendships and a better group of friends, and not really realising how important it was. I was a bit of a loner back then, which is probably why I'm also a bit of a loner right now. I do enjoy my own company. I like my own company because of my extremely hectic schedule. When I do have that space to myself, I really enjoy it because I'm talking all the time. I'm coaching people, and it can be really draining. So I do enjoy that solitude, if you like. But I know it's been tough for the kids as well. But I know from my perspective as a parent and a dad, it's really helped me build a strong connection with them, and I've been really grateful for that, because look, they're 13 and 15, and you know how quickly the years go by, and these are important years where I want them to see me as being, that really loving, strong, supportive dad for them that they know that they can come to when they need to, and we just build keep building on that connection. So it's hard when they're teenagers, especially girls, I think. Girls and a father, that can be a challenge. They have a different relationship with their mum. Number 9, leading on from that, I think this year I've built stronger relationships all round, and that hasn't happened by accident. That has been a deliberate move on my part because of COVID again, to be checking in with people, making sure that I do go out of my way to connect with more people, making sure that I'm having more conversations, and really making sure that people are okay. Like coming from a really good place in my heart that, I want to make sure that people are all right. So my clients, for instance, they are part of my family. So I'm making sure that they're all okay, making sure that, their kids are okay. Everything in their life is okay. And if it's not, how can I support them? How can I support them in, like coaching, in terms of training and that kind of stuff. Sometimes all it takes is somebody that, so people that they don't think are even thinking about them, just a little message or a little care package or something like that. I made up a number of care packages for some clients that included things like, it's mainly for my female clients, so like a face mask. I did give one to my male client actually, but face masks, like things like all calming things, so like some chamomile tea. I put in a bath bomb, 2 bath bombs, some nice healthy chocolate, just some nice little things like that. I can't remember what else I put in there, but a couple of other things. Just some little things that, like altogether, probably cost, $12, $15 all up, but priceless in terms of what it means to the person. So it's like, wow, here's somebody that is thinking about me. This is going to make me feel good. So I did enjoy that part of this year in being able to build those connections and still keeping on working on growing those even further. And number 10, even though I could have started with this one, I'm leaving it till last, but I would say I thrived through COVID rather than just survived. I know many people around the world, so many people have lost their lives, I know that, and I don't mean to disrespect anyone that has lost their life or knows somebody that has been incredibly ill, is ill right now, or has lost somebody that's close to them. I'm sorry for all of that. But from a personal perspective and what COVID has meant to me, it's provided so many opportunities in, I guess, the way that I approach life, the way that I've approached my business. It's just enabled, I think, the globe to stop and just reassess and think about the way that we do live and do things. And I think globally, the globe has been better off because of COVID. If you think about maybe the oceans, for instance, there's more abundance of fish life. There's probably less pollution in the oceans. There's certainly less carbon emissions from cars because there's fewer cars that were driving around for so long. There's so many benefits that way, but COVID, as I've said a couple of times now, provided an opportunity to just stop and reset and I think just dig deep. And this show is the Mental Toughness and Body Show. And I thought, does life get any more difficult than this? Well, it does, but certainly in most of our lifetimes, this is the hardest thing that we've ever faced because it's something that is facing the entire globe and it's had a dramatic impact on the way that we live our lives. And up to this point in my life, there hasn't been an event like this that has had such an impact. So with that being said, we need to act, respond to that, and many people struggled. What I think COVID did was almost like a pressure cooker for life. So whatever issues you were going through, they got magnified and sped up really, really quickly. So if you already had a pre-existing mental health condition, then this made it worse. If you were having battles in your relationships, then this made it worse in most cases. I mean, it frustrates me that they don't report this data and have as many discussions in it, because it's so important, as they do with other numbers. But I mean, in Australia, the divorce rate has gone way up. The amount of family violence has gone way up. The number of kids that are calling helplines has gone way up. The number of people calling helplines has gone way up. The number of suicides have gone way up. The amount of self-harm people has gone way up. It's such a big problem, but we don't really talk about it, which I think is a shame, because if you're not having the discussion, then you don't have the corrective actions in place, and it's almost like it's a dirty secret. Here's a number to call, but let's not talk about it. So if somebody commits suicide, for instance, they won't talk about it as such, but at the end of a story on the news, they'll say, if you're having struggles, then here's Lifeline's number or something like that. But they don't really talk about strategies and so forth. It's like, well, if you're having troubles in that space, just call them. They'll help sort you out. That's been a major, major struggle for people this year. And I thought, okay, when am I ever going to get the chance to have such a big struggle and really test myself? So I used it as a test. I didn't want to just say, well, I talk the talk, but I don't walk the talk. I don't do what I talk about. But instead I said, no, I'm going to make sure that I do all the things that I talk about. Even though it's tough, even though there's uncertainty, how do you remain focused? How do you move forward and make the best use of your time when you don't know what tomorrow brings? And that's what I did. And through that, I got so much growth. Like all of those 9 steps that I've said ahead, just prior to this one, wouldn't have happened as greatly if COVID didn't happen this year. My top 10 I maybe would have struggled to get 10 this year. But because of COVID, it changed my direction, it changed my thinking, and it created so many opportunities that I'm so grateful for. So I want you to go through and do the same thing. Capture what were your great things that you did this year, so that maybe it's in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 3 years. You can look back and see just what it is that you did during COVID 2020. COVID 2021 could be worse, could be better. Who knows? I was listening to Joe Biden yesterday saying that it could, at their current rate of injecting people for the vaccine, it could take years at the current rate. So what happens during that time? Who knows? So there's more uncertainty to come. But you can still make 2021 better than 2020. I want to wish you all a happy, safe, healthy new year. I will talk to you tomorrow. In the meantime, just have a nice, fun time tonight with those people that are really important in your life. And like I say, stay safe. Don't do anything crazy. Happy New Year, everyone.